the New York Knicks won the championship this year, and everybody in New York City lost their minds. There was an image of a woman taking a garbage pail, the colors of the New York Knicks, and she was so happy that her team had won that she decided to take this garbage can, turn it upside down. It was packed full, and dumped it all over the streets of New York. Why? Because she wanted a keepsake, a memento. What better memento to take than a garbage pail? She needs to take that garbage and dump it all over the city that she lives in. Perfectly normal behavior, no? Do you know who this person is? The director of DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at JP Morgan, one of the largest corporations on the planet.
The trust factor is your ticket to a better life. The trust factor shows you how to get through the night.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Trust Factor podcast. We're into a conversation over here that I can't really wrap my head around. If I'm being honest, I can't understand the words that we're talking about in a good way. Thank God, as I read forward, I'm sitting here thinking for the last few days, thank God that I don't know what the book is talking about. I don't know what it's like to have such conflict in the house. Now, unfortunately, I'm the exception. I should never know of these things, and neither should any of you. But the reality is that too many people are living in toxic relationships. Marriage is not easy. Family life is not always what it's cracked up to be. It is difficult. It comes with enormous challenges that most of society are simply not equipped to handle. And that's why we see divorce rates that are through the roof. Record numbers of people are getting divorced. It's so easy these days that they're already thinking about it before they've even gotten married. It's crazy, the number of people that are getting divorced on a regular basis. Let's face it, my friends, divorce is a pandemic today, and it has been for a very long time. The book is addressing it. It's gone so far as to talk about somebody who's been kicked out of the house by his wife. He's been put in the doghouse, and we talked about what it takes to get him back in here. And this is unbelievable advice, even though I've never been here. It all just makes sense, which is really the opposite of what society tells you on how society tells you to solve your problems. Just listen. Listen to the words. Listen to the solutions. And you will think to yourself, that makes sense, but how come nobody's pushing it on me? And the answer is because we're living in a backwards society. Today's culture is broken. People don't know if they're men or women, if they're toaster ovens or microwaves. They have no idea how to identify. That tells you a lot about the generation that we're living in, and it didn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of time and careful planning and strategizing to be able to get society to fall to the level that we are at today. These ideas that the book is bringing back are 3,500-year-old ideas. It was given to us by a divine creator who controls and created everything that exists. So clearly we have knowledge that has carried humanity for thousands of years and has allowed us to get to where we are today. Somehow, in the last, I would argue, maybe 30 years, society has been on a downward spiral in terms of the role of men and women. It's being flipped on its head, and it's not a good thing. That, my friends, in my own opinion, is the number one contributor to the fact that divorces are happening at a rampant pace. Let's talk about what happens when you get the wrong advice, because you know what happens. You fight with your spouse, you end up getting shown the door, you're sleeping on your mother's couch, and suddenly everybody has their opinion. Everybody wants to give you their 2 cents of what they think you should be doing and how you should handle the situation, and every single one of them, almost every single time, if you're in the secular world, it's every time. Every single time, it's wrong. In these situations, it says many irresponsible advisors join in along the way. Family members, friends, acquaintances, each one has his or her warped ideas of how to handle the situation, what this evicted husband should do and how he should behave. One tells him, divorce your wife, get rid of her already. What do you need her for? She's just a pain in your neck, right? What does he care? He's single, never been married, or he's divorced multiple times. So his go-to is, look, I'm miserable. I need company. We all know that. Misery loves company. Just divorce her. and move on. There's so many other fish in the sea. You'll find somebody else. You'll find somebody better, right? What he doesn't tell them is that you, the one who caused the problem, are not going to change who you are. You're going to continue to move on to your next relationship and the one after that with the same corrupt character traits, and you're going to destroy those relationships also. He doesn't tell him that he needs to work on himself to figure out why he caused this problem in the first place. No, easy, no work, just divorce. Fill out some paperwork and send it in, and you're good to go. Another one says, stop sending her money. Brilliant. Isn't that fantastic? Stop sending the mother of your children money. Stop supporting them. Where is she going to get her next meal from? Where are your kids going to get their next meal from? Who's going to keep the roof over their head? Who in their right mind suggests such a thing to an individual? Stop supporting the people that you are responsible for. Again, lazy, easy, the wrong toxic advice. Do not listen to this information, my friends. It's all designed to make you fail. His mother says, you're too good for her. She's taking advantage of your good heart. They're just yapping in your ear, filling you up with all the wrong information. You wonder why. Doesn't my mother care about me? Stop trying to understand people's motives. There's a reason for everybody to come with their corrupt ideologies. Don't think about them. Go back to the source. Go back to the creator, the one who gave you that mate in the first place, the one who gave you those children in the first place. That's where you go when you have problems. Find yourself a qualified Orthodox rabbi who can sit down and understand your home life and give you advice based on your situation, Torah advice on how to fix your relationships. All this bad advice leads to one thing only: the destruction of a home that could have been saved had they followed the path of emunah, which takes us to what the real response should be. How does somebody really handle this? How do we fix it? Here's the practical way. Very straightforward, meat and potatoes, nothing that's hard to understand. He lays it out for you beautifully. Just listen. The only true advice for him is to start from now, to act like a human being. He should be good to his wife, and listen to this, and not expect anything in return. You hear this? He must send her money and make sure that she and the children are not lacking anything. This is the exact opposite of what society tells you to do. He must maintain contact with the children, comfort them, and tell them to listen to everything that their mother says. The worst possible thing to do would be to upset his wife even more or to use the children against her. Guys, this is the way that a man operates. A real man operates like this. It's not about me. It's about my family, the people that I have a responsibility for, the wife that I married and that I made commitments to, and the children that I chose to bring into this world. I have an obligation to them. I'm duty bound. And it doesn't matter the situation that I'm in. I'm going to continue to provide that support, the emotional and the physical and the financial support. I'm going to continue to provide it. You know, in my mind, you have that vision, that image of an elderly couple, and it's always an elderly couple, not a young one, because it's a different generation. An elderly couple sitting on a park bench, and they're miserable with each other, and they just had a terrible fight, and they're sitting on a park bench, and it's raining outside, it's pouring, and the husband with his grimace on his face, and the wife with her miserable look, the husband still sits with his umbrella over his wife while he is getting drenched. He might be miserable, he might be furious, but that's not going to stop him from doing the thing that a man does, which is to protect his wife. And he uses that umbrella not for himself, but for his wife, the one who he's very much upset with. It's not this generation. That's why the image is always of older people, because they understood these concepts. Today, are you kidding me? It's the exact opposite, my friend. It's let me see how quickly I can get out of this uncomfortable situation. People simply aren't willing to do the heavy lifting. Today's example, my friends, of Alma de Shikra, a world of lies. We're not at a lack for examples. They are everywhere, where what you see is not what you get. It's the exact opposite of reality. That's the world that we live in. Another example, they pop up every day on my screen. The question is, who stops to notice them and to digest the information? Most people just scroll on because they're used to seeing it. They've become accustomed to this corruption, and they think to themselves, this is perfectly normal. Well, it's not. Here's the latest example, my friends. The New York Knicks won the championship this year, and everybody in New York City lost their collective minds. riots in the street, vandalizing, burning down city blocks, buses, that type of thing. The usual that's expected from a bunch of thugs after a massive win. And it's not just in New York, it's most major cities. There was an image of a woman, a black woman, taking a garbage pail that was painted orange and blue, the colors of the New York Knicks. And they were placed around the city. And this woman came out after the game and she was so happy that her team had won that she decided to take this garbage can, turn it upside down. It was packed full, overflowing with garbage. She turned it upside down and dumped it all over the streets of New York. Why? Because she wanted a keepsake, a memento from this glorious event. And what better memento to take than a garbage pail? And in order to take it, she needs to take that garbage and dump it all over the city that she lives in. Perfectly normal behavior, no? Anyway, she was captured on video, captured on film, pictures of her everywhere, dumping the garbage all over the street, going on the subway home, giving the peace sign. It's all cool, my friends. I'm the coolest person in the world. Look at this, what I got over here. Don't you wish you had a garbage can like mine? And that was supposed to be normal, something that she was actually proud of, so much so that she was gloating about it. That's not the whole story. That's just the beginning. Do you know who this person is? This person is none other than the head, the director of DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, at none other than J.P. Morgan, one of the largest corporations on the planet, and certainly in America. She was the top person, not just an employee, the director of DEI at J.P. Morgan. And this individual thought in her assessment, with her corrupt mind, that this is perfectly normal and acceptable behavior, that I'm going to dump all over the street, I'm going to vandalize my hometown, and I'm going to steal from that very same town. Do you know what the argument is going to be, my friends? You should know. I know. It's very simple. She is the victim. You understand? That's the equity part of the DEI. She is the victim. She needs equity. And in order for her to gain equity, she has to be able to act in an illegal and immoral way. Because after all, she's been attacked her whole life. Whether or not that's true doesn't really matter. The fact that she's a black woman means that she is the victim. And you can never blame the victim. Do you know where else we hear that? Palestinians. They're the ones who came in and slaughtered 1,200 Jews while they were at home in their beds on a Saturday on a holiday. They were the ones that, if they were left unchallenged, would have really committed a genocide in a heartbeat. Everybody knows this. They're hell-bent on killing every Jew on the planet. It's in Hamas's charter. It's there clearly. You can read it with your own eyes, even though they've edited it. It's there. They don't make any excuses for their desire to kill every Jew on planet Earth. Yet, when they go out and they execute and the Jews defend themselves, suddenly, who's the victim? The victim of the genocide, the Palestinians. The Palestinians, because they're oppressed, because they're victims, doesn't matter that they're oppressing themselves and their leadership's oppressing them. That's a different conversation. Actually, they don't want to talk about that. All they want to do is tell you the same thing that happened with this director of DEI. They are the victims, and therefore they are excused, or at least should be excused. And in fact, she is going to come back and claim probably damages at the fact that she's lost her job. And you know what? She may even win in court. My friends, that's Alma de Shikra, a world of lies. That's our society turning reality on its head. Don't allow it. Speak up. Don't be scared to speak the truth. Never be scared to say what's real and true, especially when it aligns with Torah values, my friends. That is the exact opposite approach of Torah values. It's not what we've been teaching in this podcast. It's not what the Torah teaches. It's the exact opposite, my friends. That's Alma de Shikra. Let's leave it over here today, my friends. We'll pick up again tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Thank you for spending time with us on the Trust Factor podcast. If you've heard something today that moved you, save this episode and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming conversations that challenge, empower, and uplift. And if you're on social media, connect with us. Leave your thoughts. Drop a quote that resonated with you. Hashtag the Trust Factor podcast. Until next time, keep growing in your trust and keep living with purpose. I'm Jesse Revivo, and this has been the Trust Factor Podcast. Thanks for listening.